it, you are welcome to it. How nice to see you all. Welcome to this hall of hedonism, this haven of hospitality and hilarity, in which the management is inordinately proud to present an adulatory and an absorbing amalgam of accomplished artistes advantageously arrayed to say the very acme of admirable aspiration. Where are my darlings from Liverpool?
Yes.
Well, I've been asked to tell you the bus has gone. Right, my name is Derry Sturgis. Tonight it's my very great pleasure and privilege to be your chairman and host for this evening. And from your response so far, I reckon you're going to be the best audience we've had in here tonight. I sincerely, it'll get worse, it'll get worse. I sincerely do have to thank you all for coming tonight and to be our audience, because without you, this would not indeed be possible. Or even bloody necessary. Right. Good evening. Excuse me. Right, ladies and gentlemen. Excuse me, sir. The show started.
We can't have only just arrived.
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, would you just take a seat very quickly, please?
Yeah, okay. Nice to see you. Lovely. Turn the black there, madam. It's only the one.
What are you doing coming up here? Who are you?
I beg your pardon?
I said, who are you?
My name, Mr. Sturgeon, is Francis Sweet, and I have been engaged by the management of this Hall of Remembrance to present a demonic demonstration of dance, drama, dialogue, and drollery, designed to delight the dithyrambic and dissipate the disbelief of the listeners. And not only that, it was to have been my pleasure this evening to introduce our resident 36-piece orchestra. Unfortunately, 34 of them are unable to be with us. I believe they're attending a Royal Command performance. At least they said it was something to do with Her Majesty's pleasure. We do, however, have seated at our famous Italian upright, strung with spaghetti, you understand, the one and only, that famous and well-loved musician. Sorry, what did you say your name was? Oh yes, Miss Eileen Evans. Ladies and gentlemen, I hasten to add, is indeed a very accomplished musician. In fact, she's been under some of the finest conductors in Europe.
Sit down. And on our second piano 50, because you got two for the price of one, at no expense spared whatsoever, we have direct from the Albert Memorial, Dame, what the hell are all these blackheads for, Hilda Saunders! She started learning the pianoforte last week in preparation for tonight, and she is definitely still feeling for the right notes.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you now know who they are, you know who we are, which leaves, of course, only yourselves. Now, it's up to you to set the standards for the evening, which I know is going to be very good indeed. Because if it isn't, you'll damn well stay here until you get it right. So, can you turn to hymn number 1 on your race cards? I think you'll find it called Bass Bell or some such thing. And if our orchestra will give us a D flat, no mind, just continue, we'll flatten it ourselves. Here we go, let's make it big! And we want the roof off, we don't care whether this is tonight, we don't want the roof anymore. Here we go then, after 3.
Maestro!
My love,
programme, we have provided 3 song sheets. And they are given to you because most of the time the cast forget their words. So whenever these songs are being sung, we'll try to give you some intimation. Please feel free to join in. So, to start with, hymn number 2, our first old-time medley, a rousing selection of old-time medleys, all there, ready for you to join in with. Please first put your hands together and give a rap. Right, please put your hands together and give a rapturous welcome to the Heritage Theatre Company!
It also involves accounting for his actions in much higher places. And to explain one such night's duty, we now ask you to welcome P.C. Shoebottom!
PC 65, Police Constable Shoebottom. The evidence I'm about to give will be the truth, the old truth, and nothing but the truth. On the night in question, Your Worship, I was patrolling my beat, intending to make the intersection, as per schedule, of the Buckingham Palace Road and the Mall. I took cognizance of the time when the palace clock struck the midnight hour, as I pursued my beat along the palace railings. It was rather strange. I heard sounds of revelry and jollification emanating from the palace ballroom. But it being a Saturday night, I bunged it down to the fact that the locals were having a bit of a knees-up. Leave it out, Shoebottom, I remarked to myself. Nick anyone on this manner, and that's your chances of a BEM right down the Swanee. As the palace clock struck the 12th note, I observed the palace doors flung open, and a young woman what comes airing out, nips past the sentries and has it away across the palace yard. I apprehended the said young woman, noticing at the same time she'd gone missing on an item of footwear, to wit, a glass slipper. I demanded that she provided me with all the relevant particulars, to which she replied, "Your guess is as good as mine, Chunky." The old woman says that I must be home by midnight, or there'll be all hell to pay. And before I has a chance to prefer charges, she skulks. Imagine my chagrin when some 2 minutes later I observes the same young woman proceeding down the Mall in a large wheeled vehicle which I surmise to be constructed from a dirty great pumpkin. Harnessed to the aforementioned vehicle were 6 animals of verminous descent. I signalled the vegetable to draw up and approached the driver, a member of the lizard family of the three-cornered alley. It was at this point the young woman decided to stick in her 5 worth and made a statement to the effect that she'd borrowed the vehicle off an old woman. I asked her for the identity of the old lady, to which she replied, "I met her in Hyde Park with a bunch of faggots." Well, it was at this juncture I observes a young man what has appeared on the scene, wearing eye heels and a pansy hairpiece. I asked him for his name, and he replied, "Hello, Constable, I'm charming." "Oh dear, Shoebottom," I remarked to myself, "we've got another one of them here." And I proceeds to caution the young man and asks him what he thinks he is a-doing of, a-minnying down the Mall in high heels and sequins. In reply to which, he produces a slipper, similar to the one on the foot of the bird, and makes this statement: "Whomsoever this slipper fits, I shall wear. Not on my manner you won't, I riposts, and I nicks him forthwith." Whereupon, one of the small verminous animals detaches itself from harness and nips me in the right ankle. I stoops to remove the offending creature, and the large lizard in the three-cornered hat similarly attacks me, burying his hamsters in my rear anatomy. In the ensuing struggle, a little old lady appears, brandishing an offensive weapon, to wit, a metal rod with a star on the end. Waving this rod about her person, she utters the word vanish, and the old schmozzle, pumpkin, bird, mice and lizards, all disappear in a puff of green smoke, leaving yours truly and a geezer called Charlie. Still in a great deal of pain, I loosens my clothing to examine the damage done by the several rodents. And it was at this precise moment that Sergeant Macready, Constable Muldoon, arrived at speed in an hansom cab. And that, sir, is my explanation of how I came to be apprehended in the early hours of the morning at the back of the Buckingham Palace Road, minus trousers, and in the company of a young man wearing high heels, silver.
Of a very grave responsibility. But from time to time, ladies and gentlemen, an artiste establishes him or herself in the list of all-time greats, with performances that never fail to please. Our next artist is one such. Although she is no longer a girl, she actually admits to being 40. I know you will once again extend your approbation to Miss Paulette Scheinert!
I've been. For years I spoiled the demon king. But alas, I'm getting old. The years have flown, and how? And I fear that fairy Snowdrop isn't wanted now. Nobody loves a fairy when she's 14. Nobody loves a fairy when she's old. She may still have that magic power, but that is not enough. They'd rather have their magic from a younger bit of stuff. When your lovely silver wand has lost its tinsel, and your glitter looks like rust instead of gold, your fairy days are ending when your wand has started bending. No one loves a fairy when she's old. For years I've reigned in Fairy Dell. I've waved my wand and waved it well. If I can't do all I did, I'm satisfied, because I'd rather be a has-been than I would a never was. Nobody loves a fairy when she's 40. Nobody loves a fairy when she's old. This face of this immortal one to many has appealed. but gone is all the glamour when you've had it sold and healed. When you have lost your little hairy dimples and the moth holes in your wig bled in the cold. They say that you look silly when your tights show off your ankle. No one loves a fairy. I say no one loves a fairy. No one loves a fairy when she's out.
Drinking in the village pub. I'm sure they're too numerous for me to catalogue them here this evening. But amongst them all, what could be more British than the Shayna which we present for you now? Ladies and gentlemen, with a further selection of riff-raff out on bail, especially for this evening, I give you the Heritage Theatre Company and Beside the Seaside.
Father, mother, all the family travel down to have a little battle in the sea. Mother takes her stockings up upon the sandy shore and shows a lot of thrilling that she's never shown before.
You can do all the things at the seaside that you can't do in town. Fancy mother with her legs all bare, climbing in the fountain in Trafalgar Square, bobbing up and down in the water, would make the policeman frown. You can do a lot of things at the seaside that you can't do in town.
Goodbye, Bobby, darling, whispered Mrs. Brown. Went off to the seaside, leaving him in town. When she reached the seashore, very strange to say, she met a chap she used to know before her wedding day. All that week they used to go about. Every day he called for her and used to take her out. Arm in arm together they would walk along the shore, and every night he'd take her home and kiss her at the door.
You can do a lot of things at the seaside that you can't do in town. She saw her with her husband up in town one night. She found him past the by just as a stranger might. He only gave a side wink this time, and so did Mrs. Brown. You can do a lot of things at the seaside that you can't do in town. Oh, I do like to be beside the seaside. Oh, I do like to be beside the sea. Oh, I do like to stroll along the prom, where the brass bands play tiddly-um-um-um. So just let me be beside the seaside, and I'll be beside myself with glee. And with lots of girls beside, I should like to be beside the seaside, beside the sea. Oh, I do like to be beside the seaside. Oh, I do like to be beside the sea. Oh, I do like to stroll along the prom, where the brass bands play tiddly-um-pom-pom. So just let me be beside the seaside, and I'll be beside myself with glee. And with lots of girls beside, I should like to be beside the seaside, beside the sea.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was extremely good because from where I was standing I could actually smell the ozone. I think it was the ozone anyway. Our soloist, ladies and gentlemen, was Mr. Chris Madges, of whom Queen Victoria once said, who?
Ever straining after novelties to divert you, the management is enraptured. Sorry, the management is enraptured to bring to your attention not one but two of the very finest artistes ever to have played the packed houses at the Basildon's Women's Circle. Direct from their resounding success more recently at the base room tea rooms of Tyrrell and Greens, please try to show some sort of enthusiasm as we welcome the most lovely Miss Sam Tohill and Mr. Gary Witt, who would prefer to remain anonymous.
Oh.
some promise to return later in the show, but why, I can't imagine.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we have 3 great names for you. The first is that of Mr. Harry Champion, who has established himself as the most prolific songwriter and musical performer of all time. The other 2 are our very own Mr. Nick Crook and Mr. Wayne Ings, who have seen to it that the great songs of Harry Champion will not only live for posterity, but will continue to be performed as well, if not even better. With 2 of my, and I hope your favourite Harry Champion songs, please welcome, first of all, Mr. Nick Crook with Don't Do It Again, Matilda.
Matilda's a lady I've known many years, and I called on Matilda one night. I walked in the parlour and sat on a chair, and I had such a terrible fright. I found something by me and fell on the floor, and I rolled myself up in a knot. When I found it was only a centerfold thing which he'd laid on the chair, I said, what? Don't do it again, Matilda, don't do it again. Your beautiful teeth may be quite little, but they seem to take me for a steak or a chop. Help, help, they're making me yelp. They ought to be kept on a chain. Put them back in their place in that hole in your face, and don't do it again. Matilda, she went to a fancy dress ball and she played an original part. She smothered a chimney with raspberry jam and she went as a raspberry tart. I gave her a kiss and I couldn't get loose and I struggled like having a fight. I said, if you wanted to make an impression, you jolly well done it tonight. Don't do it again, Matilda, don't do it again. That raspberry jam must be made with glue. A lot of my whiskers are sticking to you. Your face, it looks a disgrace, and I've got a horrible pain. For you've taken the skin from my nose and my chin, so don't do it again. I'll never forget on the day I got wet, and there's only your humble to blame. Matilda insisted on washing my shirt, which I only had on the Monet. She sent it along, and when I put it on, I said, Tilly, I'll go you a J. She starched it all over from bottom to top, so I wrote her a letter to say, don't do it again, Matilda, don't do it again. The dickey's as rough as a rusty nail, and the back of it's wagging about like a tail. My shirt, oh, doesn't it hurt to toddle around and explain? It's as stiff as a tin, and I can't tuck it in, so don't do it again.
Yesterday for dinner, yes we did. And talk about the strong and why it raised a saucepan lid. It popped its head up when the missus went to give a stir. It tried to shake the anchor's weight, and so I said to her, cover it over quick, Jemima, cover it over quick. Get the fork and hold it tight, mind the bounder wants the bite. Oh, the smell, it's getting strong and thick. So give it a turn on the parson's nose and cover it over quick. Oh, my Jemima's got a lovely whoop upon her back. Showing off in evening dress, she seems to have the knack. I took her at the dime one day, and in the hall I saw a lonely corner shows the wall, so I commenced to roar. Cover it over quick, Jemima, cover it over quick. Put your back against the wall, fancy showing it in the hall. That young man there with the coat and stick is coming to hang his out on the wall, so cover it over quick. For working on a scaffold once I told me corduroys, and soon I was surrounded by a crowd of girls and boys. The missus pulled me there and nearly had a fit because I shouted as I showed her what a nasty tear it was. Oh, cover it over quick, Jemima, cover it over quick. Put me dinner upon the ground while you're making me trousers sound. Oh, catch cold if you're more than half a tick. The dogs will be after me, bubble and squeak, so cover it over quick.
Mr. Crook gentlemen, and the ladies appearing with our two toffs have now gone backstage for a quick rub down with Sloane's liniment. However, for some years now, I have recognised the fact that we live in a highly scientific age in which men of learning are constantly probing the workings of the human mind. I'm delighted to tell you that one such person is here tonight to demonstrate his latest technique in exercising control over the subconscious. So some of you out there had better be a bit careful. Assisted by Mr. Nicholas Boatwright, I am now proud to present that eminent man of letters to whom I am related by marriage, that of my mother and father, Mr. Peter Sweets!
First of all this evening, I'd like you just a minute. Why are you wearing that?
I'm looking after me hair.
It looks ridiculous. Take it off.
Oh no, I've got much hair. I want to look after it.
Do as I say. Remove it.
Shall I?
Yes.
Good heavens! What a mess that is.
Ah, you didn't realise, did you? The ladies love this hair.
Don't be ridiculous.
They do. I'll prove it to you.
Where you going?
There's a lady down here. I can tell you since I came on. You fancied me, didn't you? It's the hair, isn't it? Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, first of all this evening, I'd like to present a demonstration of hypnotism.
Oh, great. You're doing hypnosis?
Yes.
Get someone up and make all the funny things?
Yeah,
I'll
no.
be on you, love. You're going to wish you hadn't sat there, I can tell you.
No, I'm going to hypnotise you.
Yeah, no, I thought I was going to be hypnotised.
Come back here.
I don't want to be hypnotised.
Come here.
I don't want to do it. It's dangerous.
It isn't dangerous.
Are you sure?
There's nothing to worry about. Huh? Every day, under hypnosis, women have babies.
What are you planning to be then?
You're not going to have a baby.
Are you sure?
All that happens is that when I click my fingers, you will go into a deep hypnotic trance.
You think click his fingers now go in a deep hypnotic trance?
My assistant, Nicholas, is now completely under my control. You will stand still and not move. Now, when someone goes into a trance... I'm sorry about that. Stand still or don't get it. This time, he will do everything I tell him.
I don't think I'm going to. What's in a trance?
What is up with you?
What's in a trance, eh?
I am speaking to you. You are not taking this seriously.
No, you're right. I'm not. I thought I was going to.
I will give you something to take seriously.
What?
Get off. Go away.
Oh, please give me another chance.
What?
I won't mess about anymore. Please give me another chance.
Very well, come here.
Right.
I will continue with my demonstration of hypnosis.
Great.
On one condition.
Nothing to do with having a baby, is it?
The condition is you do not mess about.
I won't. I'll be serious.
Because if you mess about, we are finished.
Finished?
Kaput.
I don't want to be kaputted.
Then you will not mess about.
I won't.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I will continue with my demonstration of hypnosis. No messing about, or...
We're finished.
Now, when someone goes into a hypnotic trance like this, it is a perfectly simple matter to make them immune to pain. This, of course, can be done in many ways. But tonight, I am going to use a 2-inch steel hat pin, honed to a delicate point, and I am going to stick this pin...
We're finished.
Everything I tried to...
Well, I didn't want to do it in the first place.
Ruin that demonstration of hypnosis.
I didn't want to do it. I didn't.
Why don't you grow up, stupid?
I have grown up, stupid. Don't worry, Pete. I'll get us out of this mess.
What?
I'll do my world-famous demonstration of paper tearing. I'll take this piece of paper and I'll tear it into 2, into 4, into 8, into 16, into 32, into a lot of pieces. I'll place all these pieces of paper in my mouth like this.
I didn't know you did magic.
Well,
Have you been doing it long?
what?
When did you start?
Well, I hadn't now. It was a year last Saturday.
I just had a good idea. Would a drum roll help this trick?
No? I didn't know last Saturday.
Every book in the magic circle says have a drum roll.
Well, I don't want one. Look, I'll do this trick in putting on with it. And I'll have a drum roll. I'll have a song as well.
Get on with it. Yay!
Well, I'm not on with it.
Mr. Swade and Mr. Boatwright, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure you would all like to join me in wishing them every success for their forthcoming tour of the Great Hole of the Eddystone Lighthouse.
Our next act was to have been Antonio, the famous Spanish dancer, who was going to dance his famous fandango with his fan in one hand. I'm not reading this. Now, just let us stop for a moment and think carefully what makes a family tick. What keeps our stomachs fortified, our bodies clothed warmly against all the weathers. It is, of course, our mothers. And so we would now like to present 2 songs about our mothers, from 2 further artists currently released on bail from Wormwood Scrubs. Please put your hands together firstly to welcome the lovely Miss Debbie Parker to sing Mother's Advice!
Mother told me that I should do my utmost to be good. Sound advice to me she gave, told me how I should behave. I'm glad I took my mother's advice.
Your mother's advice.
My mother's advice. Never kiss the boy, said she. So now I let the boys kiss me. Up the trees I used to climb, picking plums, it was sublime. Mother said, whatever you do, don't let boys climb trees with you. I'm glad I took my mother's advice.
Your mother's advice.
My mother's advice. I don't climb trees with boys, oh no. They help me up and wait below. When I was in bed one night, we had visitors, that's right. John comes in, I'll take it.
And secondly, to sing, and Mother came too. Please welcome back with a big hand, because he's got one, Mr. Paul Shiner!
I seem to be the victim of a cruel jest. It dogs my footsteps with the girl I love the best. She's just the sweetest thing that I have ever known. But still we never get the chance to be alone. My car will meet her, and her mother comes too. It's a two-seater, still her mother comes too. At zeros when we are free, at dinner, supper or tea, she likes to shimmy with me, and her mother does too. We buy her trousseau, and her mother comes too. Asked not to do so, still her mother comes too. She simply can't take a snub. I go and sulk at the club, then take a bath and a rub, and her brother comes too. There may be times when couples need a chaperone, but mothers ought to learn to leave a chap alone. I wish she'd have a heart and use her common sense. For three's a crowd and more is treble the expense. We dine at Maxine's and her mother comes too. How large a snack seems when her mother comes too. And when they're visiting me, we finish afternoon tea. She likes to sit on my knee, and her mother does too. Go, we started, and her mother came too. 3 bags I carded when her mother came too. She fainted just off the tee. My darling whispered to me, Jane dear, at last we are free. Then her mother came too.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, I have to tell you that at this point in the show, we had intended to include, as a special novelty, a world-famous snake charming act, but we finally decided against it because it turned out to be just a load of old cobras. So, all end in tears. So instead, we are proud to introduce our next Shana, which portrays the life going on around us, the people around us, and the situations around us. Deftly designed to disport the discriminating dilettante and to dumbfound the detractor, we present our Maywood!
a pantomime, I'll tell you where to go. Just tremble round our quarter when the lights are getting low. But please dare not go down this road, we clearly have our thing. You bet your boots we're up to snuff and up to anything.
Number 3!
Oh, a neighbourhood, oh, a neighbourhood, that's the place to see it all around. We slide behind the state and we're right bang up to date in the neighbourhood where I am living now. The army of salvation came to save our souls one day. They were there many minutes before there was a fray. And when the row was over, the only things we can were a caps on whiskers and 3 legs all laid out on the ground. Oh, a neighbourhood, oh, a neighbourhood, that's the place to see a jolly round. It's right behind the state and we're right up to date in the neighbourhood where I am living now.
If you saw my little backyard, what a pretty spot you'd cry. It's a picture on a sunny summer's day. With the turnip tops and cabbages, what people doesn't buy, I makes it on a Sunday look okay. The neighbours think I grow 'em, and you'd fancy you're in Kent, or in Epsom if you gaze onto the views. It's a wonder as the landlord doesn't want to raise the rent, just because we've got such knobby distant views. Oh, it
really is a very pretty garden. A Chingford to the eastward could be seen, with a ladder and some glasses. You could see the Hackney marshes, if it wasn't for the acid in between.
But the gasworks isn't Willits, they improve the rural scene. All mountains they would very nicely pass, with their mushrooms in the dust hole and cucumbers the green. They only want a bit of our town's glass. And I wears the milkman's nightshirt and I sits outside all day, like the cowboy lad was grizzled under me. And when I gets indoors at night, they don't know what I say. Calls me language gets as yokel as can be.
Oh, it really is a very pretty garden.
both right, Miss Bob Marshall and Miss Catty Otto.
We come now to an item of distinctly military nature. Here to perform it, we have an ex-officer. I've got your teeth in again. We have an ex-officer who served with conspicuous lack of gallantry in the post office hussars. Direct from all the well-known music and billiard halls in the area to delineate some of the highlights and more probably the lowlights of his career, I give to you the lightsome Mr. Nicholas Crook.
When I was in the army, I was a cavalryman, you know, and whenever I went on parade, a magnificent picture I made. With my galloping here and my galloping there, a ridiculous habit I got. And I'm hanged if I'm not still a galloping now, whether up in the saddle or not. And the people, they stare at me so, for it matters not where I may go. It's bumpity, 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 as if I was riding my charger. Bumpity, 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 as well as an Indian marcher. All the girls declare that I'm a gay stranger. Hey, hey, clear the way, here comes the galloping major. I've always been a ladies' man and a favourite with the sex. Well, I called up on one yesterday. No, I won't give a lady away. Well, she started to talk of my army career and was quite interested, you see. Well, I got rather tired, so we talked about her, which was more interesting to me. And she said I'd been taking some wine, for as soon as we sat down to dine, I went bumpity, 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 I was riding my charger. Bumpity, 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 as fast as an Indian march. All the girls they clap, and I'm a gay old man. Hey, 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 like the galloping major. Bumpity, 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 all the girls they clap, and I'm a galloping stay. Hey, 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 like the galloping major.
What about that for a triumph of nerve over talent? And now, ladies and gentlemen, we come to the high spot of the first half, our melodrama. And our star performer, you must abide with me for one moment, is our world-famous pianist. You will see the most incredible transformation that bear with me one moment while I bring her up on stage. I promise you will be fantastic. Now, ladies and gentlemen, to conclude the first half of our programme this evening, we are proud to introduce a special presentation by the Deadwood Gulch Theatrical Company. Hey, what's going on here? This is the theatre. What's going on? Who's that on the wall? Sit down!
Sorry, Mr. Chairman, sir.
What have you got there? What are you?
My Mustang.
Will you be quiet and sit down? We're trying to get on with the show. We've come to the highs night and you come and wrecked it. Now sit down and be quiet. I do apologise. Ladies and gentlemen, the most honoured guests, I apologise. Ladies and gentlemen, this performance, believe me, is more than just a play. It is the most... What are you doing? It is the most stupendous, colossal, soul-stirring melodrama of human emotion ever seen on this or any other stage. As we see from our opening scene, Mrs. Dean's homestead. As we see from our opening scene, Mrs. Dean's... Where's the scenery? Where's the scenery? Where's the scenery? Mrs. Dean's homestead. We have now great pleasure in presenting the first scene. The celebrated melodrama, In the Nick of Time, or Virtue Triumphant. You couldn't recognize it, could you?
Oh, how hard it is for a poor widow to make ends meet. It's 10 years since my husband passed away. And here I am reduced to taking in washing to keep a roof over our heads. Our homestead is mortgaged with Jason O'Hara.
Jasper O'Hara.
Jasper
Thank you.
O'Hara.
3 months he's been learning this.
Oh, he's a hard man. But he'll get every penny. I'll pay him every penny if I work my fingers to the bone. He forecloses that mortgage. What am I going to do? I couldn't bear to leave that homestead after all these years. Now, he has his eye on my daughter Nellie. And he'd dearly like to wed her. But I think she's worth something better than him.
Yeah, you say it, man.
Ah, she's the kindest, goodest, prettiest girl around this place.
Yeah, go on, gosh.
And be quiet, she's coming. Here she comes.
Go!
Let me take that basket. It's much too heavy for you.
Oh, Nellie dear, whatever would I do without you? The state of our affairs worries me so. We owe Jasper O'Hara $1,000. And if he forecloses this mortgage, we shall never be able to pay him. I can't bear to leave this homestead after all these years.
We'll manage somehow. We'll never let that Bill and Jasper get the better of us. If only John were here, he'd know what to do. But it's 5 years now since he went away to seek his fortune.
Oh, don't worry about him too much, dear. We don't even know whether he's alive still.
I know he's alive. Something inside me tells me that he is. And I know he'll come back to me, just as I will always wait for him.
I hope your faith is justified. But as for me, I must get on with that washing, or I shall never be able to pay that mortgage interest.
Ah, my pretty one. Oh, don't